February 10th, 2025. Today's reading is from Exodus 29, 30, and 31 of Reading of the Bible in a Year, chronologically. Oh man, I'm thinking all the work that went into building the tabernacle and consecrating Aaron and his sons, and the work that took place to purify the people. That's a lot of work. It's described here as, okay, you take this bull, you do this. It's not that simple. You have to physically kill that bull somehow without it creating a problem. And then you collect the blood, and then you open that up and you reach inside and you take all the guts out. You slit it from head or from chest to to the rear end, and you reach in there and you cut the parts out and you do that work, and then you take that and you place that on the altar and burn that. And the other side to that, all that work, not only that, and to bake the cakes and to put this together ahead of time, to grind the flour and to squeeze the olives. It's all work. It's all work, all of it. It's all hard work. It's all messy work. And the culmination of that work hits the altar and it's burnt. And I don't know about you, but I've burnt meat, I've burnt bread, and it doesn't smell very pleasing to me, but it's a pleasing smell. It's a sweet smelling aroma to the Lord. And thinking of all that work and what goes into that and what that takes, makes me so much more thankful for the finished work on the cross, the blood of Jesus, him dying, that we no longer are obligated to this work and this thing and this dirty nastiness that it takes to come before the Lord and make that connection. This is the work that it took. It took all this process and done exactly right in order for the people to hear from God. And that makes me think, are we thinking of God as holy enough? Do we realize how holy he is? Again, this was this group of people, and he gave them these ceremonies to help guide them into staying close to him. And it didn't work. And so he gave us Jesus. They got to worshiping the ceremony and the process and forgetting all about the love and the bringing people in and what it really means. Do we do that? We've got the finished work of Jesus on the cross that took place of all this. But so that God said, so that I could live among them, I am the Lord their God. He gave them a recipe for incense and oil that's not to be reproduced for anything else. It's sacred, it's holy. And it had to be done every single year. This work. Once the tabernacle was built, it was work. But in this, I read, and this just struck out to me very good, in Exodus chapter 31, verse 2. Actually, let's read in 1. Then the Lord said to Moses, look, I have specifically chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, grandson of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with the Spirit of God, giving him great wisdom, ability, and expertise in all kinds of crafts. He is a master craftsman, expert in working with gold, silver, and bronze. He is skilled in engraving and mounting gemstones and in carving wood. He is a master at every craft. And I have personally appointed Oholiab, son of Ishmael, of the tribe of Dan, to be his assistant. Moreover, I have given special skill to all the gifted craftsmen so they can make all the things that I have commanded you to make. So when God calls, somebody do a thing, he gives them the skill. He said, what are you called to do? What am I called to do? I have to ask that often. What am I called? Lord, what do you have me do? You've given me everything to be able to do that. You've provided for me. And I just want to honor God in that. I want to be thankful for what Jesus has done on the cross, and I want to honor him, and I want to think about how precious and holy he is, and how awesome it is to serve a God that cares for us, that we can come to him. It doesn't take a special ceremony. It took a special ceremony here, but he gave us a new way, a better way. Are we doing our part? Are we acknowledging God's greatness enough? Then he gives us the Sabbath, and that last part, instructions for the Sabbath, Exodus 31, 12 through 18. Anyone who let's jump right to 15. Yep. The end of 15. Anyone who works on the Sabbath must be put to death. Jesus talked to those Pharisees and Sadducees about the Sabbath and how they were making it more than what it was, because they were holding people and they were punishing people for it. Yet Jesus did work on the Sabbath. They did the things that he was told not to do. He changed the way we think about it. We can't worship these things and this stuff and this process, because all it is the way to reach God, and he gave us a new way, and that is so great. Now, the last thing I wanted to pick on, or not pick on, this is God's holy word. It's true, it's real. We can't pick on this. We have to believe it, and it's true. But the one thing I saw here that I want to think about for the next reading, or for further readings, it says in Exodus 31, verse 18, the Lord finished speaking with Moses on Mount Sinai, and he gave him the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant, written by the finger of God. Something to think about. Knowing what happens next, I gotta wonder some things, but that's for a later time. But yeah, I think God is holy. He is awesome. He is perfect. His word is perfect, and it has a purpose, and it does a good work in and of itself. And God is wonderful. I don't know if I'm worshiping him well enough. I know he cares for me. I know he cares for us. What he gave the Israelites and what he gives up for us are 2 different things, but one replaces. That was a shadow. This is what it is. Think on that.